Wait, what do you mean we've reached the final of another Drag Race season? What do you mean season 16 is almost over? No. This season has gone so quickly, but I have loved every minute of it. It's been so fun. Season 16 has been a great season. I haven't had as much time to watch the episodes again, but each week has been great and I've enjoyed so many parts of the season as well. But of course, the reason I'm here today is to ponder over which of the final 3, yes, final 3 this time, they really said fuck you, will win the season. I actually love, I think like a lot of people, how it's a top 3 again with 3 queens only being in the final, as it really makes this set of finalists feel so strong. And this is coming from someone whose favourite finalists of all time are the top 5 from season 14, so that's saying something. Nymphia, Plain Jane and Sapphira were all phenomenal this season, and any one of them could justifiably win the crown. But I like digging in a little deeper and looking at the different ways each of the queens could win. I'll be going through a set of criteria each, being track record, narrative, relationship with Rupaul, and audience reception, and look how they are for each queen, as normally those are the factors that mainly help when deciding which queen might win. Then I'll go into spoilery stuff later about the final. Let's just start with the track record. To start, I actually really found it hard to sort out the track records for each queen this season, as the judging didn't make it very clear for some positions, like certain highs or lows. So I had to consult other places like Drag Race Wiki and like places on the Drag Race and Spoiler subreddit just to see what other people thought. But even then, I'm not 100% because for a lot of people it's different. And I don't want to just go on what I remember, as there's bias in that and it won't be accurate enough. So I tried my best with the track records, but this is what we're going to go with. The track records were tight this season, with the wins being 4 for Sapphira and Plain Jane and 3 for Nymphia, and their overall track records being very close as well. Starting off with Nymphia wins. Even having the least amount of wins is still 3. It doesn't matter at all, as her track record speaks for itself. Having an average of 3.62 PPE, points per episode, basically means that each place you get each week is a point. Win is 5 points, high is 4, safe is 3, low is 2, bottom 2 is 1, elimination is 0. And you kind of add them all up and then divide by the amount of episodes they competed in, which is 13, and with that 47 points out of the 65 points you could have got this season. Nymphia's standout moments being her amazing talent show, her ball win, her book win, her beautiful design challenge looks, and just her overall amazing runway package, and her very quiet and subtle love for yellow and bananas. I don't know if you've noticed. Nymphia has just been such a joy to watch this season, as she seems like she's just having fun the entire time there. It literally broke my heart the other week when they were doing their book interviews talking about how she's not confident in herself, because she is a beautiful, amazing queen who just is the full thing. And I really hope that throughout this time being on Drag Race, she just understands how amazing she is. And she just killed the competition as well. Like, it must be just so fun at Drag Race when you're just having fun and killing the competition. She has many strong wins as well, and many other times she could have won, with few falters such as the Snatch Game and the PowerPoint Challenge. Nymphia is starting off really good with this. Sapphira Cristál is an absolute powerhouse, and she dominated this season, with a tremendous track record including 4 wins, a PPE of 3.77 and 49 points out of 65. Sapphira, points and statistics wise, is the strongest of the season and did the best out of the top 3. Her highlights include the beautiful talent show with her opera performance, her amazing 3-streak win with a remix, PowerPoint presentation and bathroom design challenge, and the countless other times she could have won as well, such as the Rusical. Sapphira's humour is also something I feel like is very understated. She is very quick and witty, but never punches down either, so it's always something to enjoy. Her support and relationship with the other queens is something to note, as every one of them has always had something nice to say about Sapphira. She only really had one fumble, being the makeover challenge, but really it's more because everyone was better rather than hers being a complete hot mess. But really nothing could top Sapphira this competition. Plain Jane's certainly been a presence this season, let's just say that. In what way depends on who you're asking. Me, I love her. She is so much fun, and I know sometimes the catty and bitchy comments and that kind of attitude of just kind of like calling people out could get on some people's nerves. I just really like that energy, and it just kind of made this season so much more entertaining, I can't lie. Plain actually ties with Nymphia for a track record on PPE. Again, it could be argued that some places could be different, but from what I got, Plain Jane and Nymphia tied together. Plain got 4 wins as well, which is amazing in the talent show, although obviously the talent show is interesting this year, the Rated Queen thing, because obviously if it was judged normally, Nymphia will probably be winning that episode episode, but because of Plain Jane's sneaky tactics with that, she won. She also did win that lip sync fair and square, so it's fair enough. She won Snatch Game, which was really good. She won the design challenge, bathroom design challenge with Saphira, and she won the makeover. So pretty strong presence throughout season, and again, she got lots of highs and places she could have won again as well. She only really faltered recently in the book challenge, and obviously she kind of had moments about her vulnerability, not being vulnerable, and kind of, you know, her kind of mean girl persona kind of being the main thing about her this season. Again, I really enjoyed that aspect of her. I think she was really entertaining in that aspect as well, but overall she has had a really good run this season. All three of these queens have killed the competition. I've only really faltered once or twice, but looking at track record, if we're going to see who's best, obviously Saphira is winning with that, with Plain Jane and Nymphia tying next. So again, very close race. Looking at the narrative, it's really interesting because they have little storylines, but I feel like other queens who were eliminated before had like stronger storylines, whilst these queens had little storylines, but clearly it was just them being in the competition. That was the main thing. I think to start off with Nymphia, it was her kind of, you know, saying, oh, but I'm not sure about this, not feeling confident about this challenge, I don't know if I could do it, and then coming out and slaying, that kind of thing. I think Nymphia definitely showed that she got more confident throughout, and again, I think her book win really solidified her character. There isn't like a obvious, you know, we have like the underdog or the kind of like waiting for the win, but I don't know, I don't see a strong one for Nymphia, but at the same time it's been fun watching her develop and grow throughout. For Saphira, I think the main thing for me was that first she was kind of like always surprised maid, never the bride, and then she had a 3-win streak, which was kind of amazing, and it was only really the makeover challenge, I think that was a proper, people wanted to see, you know, the queens wanted to see her fall, but she picked herself up and got another high placement next week. So I think for Saphira it's kind of like, you know, her climbing to the top, maintaining that, having a little fall, then still getting up and being the front runner, and I think it's just watching that journey of her still triumphing through everything kind of makes that storyline as well. Surprisingly, I actually think Plain Jane probably has the best narrative of the season, in terms of like, obviously when she started off with her kind of like very harsh and blunt comments, you know, she doesn't hold back with her comments no matter how mean they are, and at first it was funny, but then it kind of did get on some queens' nerves, which is fair, they're allowed to feel that. And then it was kind of like, you know, that conversation Saphira had with Plain being like, it can be funny, but sometimes think about time and place, you know, is it actually needed to say that? You know, we have banter, we have, you know, little catty moments in the work, but there's some moments that's not needed, and I think that's what Plain was learning. Obviously she's still like that a little bit, but I think we definitely got to understand her more and where it comes from, why she does it, and also her realizing actually time and place and doing that. And I think through that level of humility that we got to know of her, obviously it does kind of warm us up to her. You know, she's not just a one-dimensional villain who's, you know, it's just kind of like, okay, I can feel like I'm connected to you more because I know that's not only who is, you know, that's not only who you are, there's a lot more to you. And I think by the end, with Plain being there, it's kind of like she's earned her way definitely to the top 3, and I think her narrative out of the top 3 is probably the most interesting to watch this season. Relationship with Ru. Now this is interesting because obviously I'm not Rupaul. I don't know what mother's thinking half the time, and obviously how Ru is towards someone is important, because let's be honest, Ru is not going to crown anyone who she doesn't connect with, no matter how well they do. Aside from Nymphia, I think Ru really likes Nymphia. For the book challenge the other week, they just got on so well. Like Ru and Nymphia have had fun and like, you know, talking kind of banter on stage in the critiques and in the workroom as well. There's like some parts where like Nymphia can be like a little bit timid, and obviously during the Snatch game that didn't work, but you can tell there's like such a care there. I think it's really fun. With Plain Jane, I think it took a little bit for Ru to warm up to her a bit. I mean, in the first episode with Plain in, obviously Ru kind of got her weird sense of humour with the burger finger song. I don't think she connected right away, but obviously throughout Ru just got her. I mean, during the makeover with the Lazy Susan comment, that just like got Ru completely, and obviously Plain won the Snatch game and they had that really good like back and forth then. So I think they have that fun bantery, like they just get each other. Although sometimes Plain can also seem a bit timid around Ru, which is, you know, understandable. You just kind of want to make sure that like Ru gets you, which is important. But yeah, I think Ru really enjoyed Plain this season. But I think obviously the thing that Saphira and Ru have going on is insane. Like, I rewatched that Break the Soul lip sync all the time, and at the start, how Ru just make eye contact and just seeing the Ru's eyes, she's just like, yeah, I know that girl. The slew foot thing, their banter on the runway, there's something between Ru and Saphira, they just get each other. Ru just gets Saphira so well. I just think out of those 3 queens, Ru's not favourite, but I think has like the best kind of banter and relationship with Saphira. Audience reception, well, it's interesting. It's I mean, we know Drag Race fans just like switching up every single second, because if the queen they expect doesn't do what they expect, clearly the queen is the most evil person ever, therefore should be eliminated, and it's rigged for them, how dare they. But they did well next week, therefore we have to love them again. Yeah, I think since the start people like Nymphia. There's some people who try to be like, yeah, but she's wearing too much yellow and the banana thing, and then it's like less than half of her outfits are yellow. Like, Nymphia has a clear brand there, but it's not just who she is. She can experiment, she can change it up. Nymphia's also just very fun. I think it's like when you see other people having fun on Drag Race, do you have fun? So it's always fun watching Nymphia. She kind of had like the biggest fan support from the start, especially when she won quite early on, but it definitely also took a dip in the middle where she wasn't winning as much, and she had a couple falters and other queens were winning. But I think, because I've mentioned it a lot, the recent win in the book challenge really got people completely back behind her. Like, there are always people being like, oh, I'm still supporting Nymphia, she should, you know, have more wins, but that book win definitely got her the biggest amount of support. People love Nymphia. I love Nymphia. I think she might be my favourite queen this season, I'm not sure. I love her so much, and clearly a lot of the fan base do, and I think that's very good for her. But then there's Sapphira, and a lot of people have loved Sapphira as well. I think definitely part of it is her clearly being the main front runner of the competition, and obviously if you're getting a lot of wins, you're doing well and you're clearly the front runner, people are gonna naturally become a fan of yours. But again, Sapphira's also just been a fun, loving presence since the start. She's just had this energy that experienced drag queens have, that every time you look at them, you can just be confident in what they're doing and just know you're gonna have a good time because their craft is absolutely to its peak. Sapphira is an amazing drag queen, and she has shown that so many times throughout this competition. Sapphira has been loved by the audience a lot. I love Sapphira as well. Other queens have really loved Sapphira. There's been nothing that, you know, the fans have really been like, no, we don't think. Plain Jane, on the other hand. Oh, plain Jane. Like I said, her blunt comments and kind of like not holding back has made people fall in love with her, or made people really not like her, especially how she was like Amanda. And if you're just not going to mess with that, you're not going to mess with that. I think Plain knows that, you know, to each of their own. So yeah, so I think in terms of audience reception, Sapphira and Nymphia are definitely up there. Plain Jane, not so much, but at the same time, again, I love all three of these queens so much, and it's really good. So now that we've gone through all the criteria, I'm going to order the three queens from least to most in terms of who I think is most likely to win. In third place is Plain Jane. Again, with these, I think it's incredibly close. I still think Plain has a really good chance of winning. She's done amazing all competition. She can perform really well, and I can just see her doing something in the finale that just makes her the winner. The only reason I put her third is just fan reception is not as much as the others, and I really think she is someone that the producers would really want for All Stars as well. I think there's a lot more to see of Plain Jane, and I think the producers see that as well. So I think it's not that she can't win. I feel like the producers want to see more of her, therefore they want to keep her for an All Stars rather than let her win now. But again, amazing queen. Now between first and second, this was incredibly hard because I can see either one of them winning and I can't decide. I find it really hard to decide which one to go with. But in second place, I put Nymphia. And again, the place between first and second is literally by a hair. It's like so close. The only reason I put Nymphia second is I just think she doesn't have as much experience that Sapphira has, I guess. And I think Sapphira has a better, I guess, relationship with the judges and Rue, which obviously is more important, as at the end of the day it is Rue's decision. The only thing I would see Nymphia having over Sapphira is the audience reception, especially looking at the votes on the polls on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere like that. Nymphia is just ahead of those two by quite a lot. But again, those aren't always indicators of who will win. I think Nymphia has an amazing chance of winning though. She can perform amazingly. It's insane we haven't seen a lip sync yet, but in some of the challenges we see she's an amazing performer. She does amazing dances, especially in her talent show as well. So I can see her definitely winning and snatching the crown in the finale. But I put Sapphira at number one just because for me she just has it. As soon as I heard about her, she just exuded winning energy. She has the experience. She's at her prime. She understands drag to a T that I don't think anyone else really can. And I just think she just has, I don't know, she just has it. I just have a gut feeling that. Now, let's go into the spoiler stuff because I know y'all want to hear that and I also love that as well. So the finale was actually, I think, filmed last year, when normally they would film it around now or like a couple weeks ago, like start of April. I don't know why. I've heard different things being like they wanted to change filming because of the strikes happening at the time. They just wanted to get it done rather than like waiting for the strikes to end because they didn't know when. But I've also seen things being like, no, they just wanted to avoid, you know, complete spoilers, because normally when the final is done, normally there is like a rundown of everything that's happened. Whilst if they recorded it ages ago, there's a less chance of that happening, so there's more surprises and stuff. Either way could be true, I don't really know, but the thing is that the finale has already been filmed, which is really interesting. This is your last warning for spoilers, just in case. Basically, it's a thing again of the top 3 do their own individual performances to a new song written by Leland, like the past 2 finals have been. Someone is chops to make a top 2, there's a top 2 final lip sync, and then there are, different crownings filmed. The top 2 of the season is Nymphia and Saphira. Plain Jane was cut at top 3, I think, allegedly, and those are our top 2. Amazing top 2. I mean, it's amazing top 3 anyway, but amazing top 2. This is going to be a fucking battle. I think this is probably going to be one of the closest Drag Race finales we've ever had. Maybe when we look back to this next year, maybe it'll be obvious, but right now for me, this is like incredibly close. Is there a possibility of a double crowning? Yeah, I think there always is. I don't know if one's been filmed or not, but I think there's always a possibility of it. I think a lot of people have been like, yeah, if there's a double crowning, I'd be okay with this, but also with the reception of how it went last time in All Stars 4, I don't think they'd ever want to do it again. Who do I want to win? I don't mind, because I'm winning either way. I think whilst Nymphia is probably my favourite queen this season, I want Saphira to win. I don't know, I just have this gut feeling for Saphira. I love her so much, and I love all of them, but I just have this gut feeling for Saphira. I think it's her time. I think Saphira Cristál is going to win season 16. That's what I'm predicting. If I'm wrong, well, either way, I'm winning, because all these queens are amazing. How did you find season 16? Did you enjoy it? Who are you rooting to win for? What was your favourite moment this season? Who knows? Sound off in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. I barely post on there, but we'll see in the future. Follow me on Letterboxd though, because I am popping off on Letterboxd, and Serialized. I might start using that soon. You can write Drag Race reviews on there. I'm gonna do that. Yes, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more Drag Race stuff, or whatever I feel.